What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr War Games, and with the release of the Megatins, I was finally able to put together Rokket Orcust. And this is a build of rockets that I absolutely love because I'm a huge fan of Revolver in the anime, and I just loved how he used not only the borrowed monsters but also the topologics as well. Now rockets can make the topologics, but they can't really properly abuse them. Orcust, on the other hand, can, and back in the day, it had a perfect synergy when Nightmare, when the Nightmare package was available to use, when the Hop Horror was available to use, and we couldn't really get the synergy and the consistency going unless you had Orcust Mech Knight Gear Suit in your deck, because he is literally a one-card Orcust play. Barring you probably might need an extension or probably just on its own. But with the Megatins out, finally, Mech Knight Orcust Gear Suit is not only reprinted, but it's like a £3 to £5 card, which is super budget. And I love that it now is. So again, finally able to put the deck together, did a little play testing, did a little comboed hands, and just, you know, play testing the hands, and the consistency is fantastic. You're getting 3 negates on board with protection, with disruptions, with follow-up on next turn. It's absolutely insane, and I want to show you guys the profile for you. So before I get to this, if you enjoy this, like and subscribe down below, ding that notification bell, because obviously if you enjoy a person's content here on YouTube, you don't want to miss out on that content, and that notification bell helps prevent that, and all of that is greatly appreciated, and we thank you guys so much for doing so. So with all that's done, let's get into this Rokket Orcust deck. So starting off with the Rocket Engine, I'm playing 2 Tracers, 2 Rechargers, 1 Router, 1 Silver, and 1 Router. So, or Router, like however you want to pronounce it. So the reason that I've gone for this ratio is that Tracer is literally a 1-card playmaker on its own, because Chaos Ruler is a thing, and Chaos Ruler helps this deck so much because you can then hopefully get a mill of not only your Orcust monsters but also maybe a search as well, which is very, very handy. So literally a normal Sun Over Tracer helps you get into that. The reason I've gone for double Recharger is because it's a dark orientated deck. I like to have him as a possible hand trap in the hand, meaning that if one of your monsters does get outed, you can go, I could call Recharger, discard, revive something, and you at least get a form of board presence on the field, so you can keep on going for hopefully next turn. Silver Rocket, because you can actually resolve him quite easily in this deck, so being able to probably trade a negate for a extra deck banish is pretty good depending on the matchup that you're facing. If you're like up against, for example, Prank Kids, if you can trade a negate for a Silver Rocket banish and banish pop and banish the 1 copy of Meow Meow, you want to get a pretty good position there. So 1 copy of Silver Rocket for that. And the Absoluta is because you do a lot of discarding in this deck, you do a lot of milling in this deck, so being able to mill this and then get your rocket engine going is pretty darn good. Moving on to the Orcust bit, which is a bit larger. I say a bit larger, it is very larger. 3 copies of Mech Knight Orcust Gear Suit, like he is just absolutely fantastic. 2 copies of Orcust Nightmare, as again fantastic. 1 copy of Board Wand, 1 copy of Symbol Skeleton, and I'm also taking in the 1 copy of Brass Bombard because he can help unbrick your hand, but also being a level 1 with your level 7s in this deck. We're playing 3 of them, which you may think is a bit small, but we can get this card in the field super easily. Absoluta special summons itself as well, so being able to do a 1 for 7 synchro is pretty darn good. That's it for the Orcust part of the monsters. Moving on to the mini Chaos engine of 1 Safefoot, 1 Collapse, and 1 White Dragon. I wasn't playing Safefoot before, it was actually a 3rd copy of Tracer, but I felt like you don't really need 3 copies of Tracer because you're playing a free quick launch, you got the Absoluta, like you have many ways to get to Tracer, which is pretty darn good. So I thought I'd taken 1 copy of Safer. It's literally a 1 card combo starter because you can go Safer, sack it off, go collapse, you know, go and into Striker, Striker gets you boot, and then you go get White gets you into your Romulus play Ravine, discard, and then you get your basically Safer is a Romulus plus a Chaos Ruler, which then means you're getting your Orcust, hopefully combos going off as well. So it does a lot in this deck. Also being in the graveyard, if you can send it late game, you can shuffle back a Savage Dragon into your extra deck, which is pretty darn good. So Safer does a lot in this deck. We're playing the 1 copy of Silent Boots, just because of you can't play Orcust without Phantom Knights. They just synergize too well. So we're playing the 1 Silent Boots for that. And to round up the main deck of monsters, we are playing 3 copies of Effect Veiler. So Effect Negation is budget, it's nice, but it's also a light, meaning that you can discard it off like a Chaos Space, and then you can search your Mech Knight, your Chaos Dragons, which then means you can start going off with some Chaos plays. Also being a light in graveyard as well. If you're doing your Chaos late game, you can then banish the Effect Veiler, which means you're safer, it can stay in grave again for a Savage Shuffle back. Moving on to spells, we're playing 3 copies. Oh, quick launch, like again, just a 1 card. 1 card Chaos Ruler or Savage Dragon before your normal summon without using your normal summon. Pretty darn good. Reason why you probably go into Savage Dragon is because you will only have 1 negate, but that's a 1 negate, Omni negate on your turn, while also having a bit beat stick on board as well. So quick launch is just fantastic in this deck. 3 copies of Chaos Space. Again, not only does it just get you 3 extenders, but also gets you 3 draws as well. I'm also playing Allure of Darkness. This is something I don't see many Orcust players play. If they do, I'm just looking at obviously the wrong profiles. But I think Allure of Darkness is absolutely fantastic in this deck. Being able to banish a dead Orcust out of your hand, thus making it live later on for Galatea, or making Galatea live as well. Just gives you a lot more consistency. You're playing so many multiple darks in this deck as well. So being able to banish one of your duplicates to just get you deeper into your deck for your either your Gearsu or a quick launch or things like that, and just help you get your plays going. I think it's a pretty good fair trade-off. A tech I'm also playing that not many Orcust players play, or combo decks I play, is Orchestrated Return. It's just a nice one-off to play in a deck. It is such a bot of Galatea if you do need it. Gets dead Orcust out of your hand and gets them into the graveyard where you do want them. And then the draw too is very nice as well. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. We are a graveyard focused deck. And we're playing 3 field spells, which can sometimes like conflict. Because obviously you want Babble in play most of the time. But really you kind of want Babble there for once. And then you should hopefully win on the following turn, which then means you can replace it with either one of these. Dragon's Ravine tends to be like a first card you play anyway, and then you don't need it anymore once you've resolved it once, which then means that it can be replaced for this. This you're kind of popping most of the time with your Striker Dragon or your Tracer to, you know, just get their effects off. So these kind of like, they have the one-time use and that's it, and then Barrel is kind of like your main field spell that you want in play. Moving on, for the rest of the spells, we're playing 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Call by Grave. You know, just good generic cards. Provide your beat sticks and your Orcust cards, especially like your Dingirsu, and then Call by Grave, you know, stop those hand traps. To finish off the main deck, we're playing 3 trap cards, 1 Crescendo and 2 Fogblade. This is your Phantom Knight package, and this is obviously to round up your Orcust package. That's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, we're playing for the Xyz. One of them is 1 Dingirsu. I kind of want to play a second one. If I would, I'd take out the Pisty in the deck, in the extra deck, because in testing, I didn't summon it, and I don't feel like I need to. So I might take the Pisty out and put in the second Ding, just because the second Ding can come in handy and can come in times that you want it. So that might be a replacement. 1 Chaos Ruler and 1 Savage Dragon. This has also made it budget thanks to the Megatons, because this is also like a £5 card now, which is absolutely fantastic. This is probably the only thing that isn't budget in this deck is the Savage Dragon. But you kind of have to play Savage Dragon in this deck, unfortunately. If you don't have a Savage Dragon, your best bet is to just play a second Chaos Ruler, or play a Link that does negate as well, or something along those lines. But yeah, you just need something to replace the Savage Dragon. But if you have access to it, if you're already playing Rockets, if you're already playing Orcust, you'll probably already had access to this anyway. But yeah, this is probably the only thing that's not budget. For the big boss monsters, Ballo Dragon, Bulbasaur Dragon, and Topologic Zero Modus, you guys know me by now if you're fans of this channel and my Rocket decks. You know I can't play Rocket without Ball Load. Ball Load is just the thing I have to play in the extra deck because it's just me. But obviously, if you don't want to play it, you don't really need it, you can take it out for any other Link boss monster, something like probably an Apollosa, though you kind of lock yourself into darks a lot in this deck, so probably best to just play something that's dark orientated in the place of Ball Load, probably like an access code as well. That might be obviously a good best bet. But you're already playing Bulbasaur, so it's kind of like a hit and miss on what you want, maybe even Link 3 or Link 2. These are my boss monsters. Zero Boros, I'm kind of like swapping in and out between him and Bomber Dragon. Zero Boros is in here at the moment, though those are very interchangeable. For Link 3s, I'm playing one Trispaina, one Rusty, and the one Longirsu. Trispaina is in here because I want to keep the topologic theme going on, and Trispaina is pretty handy. Getting rid of those back row, having an already access for those back row decks is pretty good. Rusty is the main Link for you're going to be going to all the time because he's literally a 1 card 2 monster negates because he gets you 2 Fog Blaze. And then the Longirsu is my personal tech choice because he does out things non-target. I believe it is non-target. It's been a long time since I've done this. Target 2 of your banished machines, shuffle them to the deck, and if you do, send 1 linked monster your opponent controls to the graveyard. So it's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good for that. Like, again, non-target, shuffle back, and he is pretty big as well. So, like, I do like to play the one Longirsu. To round up the Orcust links, we're obviously playing 2 Galatea because you easily go through 2 Galatea. You could even arguably play 3 of this. In all honesty, but 2 Galatea is more than enough. 1 Quad Bowl, again, something that not many people play. Personally, I really like the Quad Bowl. It just helps you extend, helps you keep going, makes your boards bigger, and helps out monsters as well. Like, this guy just does so much for the deck in terms of combos, and I just love playing Quad Bowl. 1 Romulus, as I was mentioning earlier with the combos, helps you get your Dragon Link going. 1 Pisty and 1 Striker. Striker is mandatory, you have to play. I'd play 2 of it if I could, but unfortunately I cannot. But Pisty, again, is something I'm thinking of taking out, putting in for the second ding. Just because you don't really go into it. You can do it, but like, it's not really necessary. In all honesty, the things that Pisty can do, you can easily find other ways to do it. Like the plays that you can establish. So, like, that's it for that, really. But that, guys, is the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. It is kind of like nice, sweet, and to the point. Like, I would do combos, but like the main combo I'll be showing is the 1 card Chaos Ruler play and like what Gearsu can do. But you guys can probably see already seen what Gearsu can do, in all honesty. So like the main point of this deck is that the 2 engines synergize naturally. And like the things like the rockets can do help the Gearsu plays going, and what the Orcust can do just helps the rocket keep going as well. So like they just nicely synergize together into a nice blend of I'm playing dragons, but I'm also playing topologics as well, and abusing them is very, very nice. So guys, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time, as always, stay safe and happy dueling.